Klaus Jürgens, who's a political analyst and joins us from Ankara. Klaus, how significant is this in the context of migration in Europe? Why is the German government doing this?
Well, hello, good evening. Thanks for having me. I think it is indeed a landmark decision. Now, debates were going on for many years. Actually, debates were going on when I was basically a young boy, shortly before the city of Frankfurt established the first senator's office for multiculturalism. At the time, it was a Green member of the local Senate. But over time, it was basically kept under the carpet. Germany always portrayed itself as a role model country for new arrivals, and definitely it has become a certain role model, but there were a number of legal obstacles to really make people who want to stay forever welcome and at home. Now, this is a landmark decision, first of all. You mentioned, dear colleague, 8 years down to 5 years, and in a number of cases, this can actually be reduced to 3 years. Now, this is one side of the coin, and I really have to stress that this is only one aspect of the current debate, that you actually can obtain German citizenship in a shorter period of time. What is equally a landmark milestone decision is that the doors have been opened for dual nationality. And this is a debate, believe me, in the German, Austria, Switzerland region. It is sometimes literally dominating the headlines. Should we allow dual nationality? Why do we not only have one nationality and everyone who wants to come here should abide by those rules? It is a clear fact in a multicultural modern world that why don't you have two passports? Britain and the United States are always a good example. Other countries, many countries have followed. So these are the two key dimensions, I think. First of all, a reduction in what the Germans call Einbürgerung, the right to actually become a citizen. Secondly, that you can have, from a certain point in the future, I hope it will be sealed off very shortly, dual nationality.
And Klaus, I suppose I'm asking you this in the context of a Europe that is quite worried in many instances about migration. This is a huge issue, for example, in the United Kingdom. Countries like Poland, Hungary also worried about migrants. Italy, again, a huge issue. And here we have a government in Germany that wants to apparently make it easier for people to become German citizens and going what might seem like slightly the other way. What's behind that? And do they think that that will have any political cost domestically?
I think the opposite, with all my modesty. I think in an age of far-right populism in far too many corners all across Europe, who want to single out the other, not necessarily one religion, but anyone who was not perhaps a real quote-unquote white German from the ancestors. Now, I think a democratic government is doing the right thing to stem this tide by first of all saying, look, everyone who is here basically is welcome. Yes, of course, some might not be welcome, but this is based on criminal records or on many other factors. But let's assume we have now, roughly speaking, if I'm not incorrect, 12 million citizens living amongst us in Germany who have no German passport. And 5.3 million, I'm quoting from ZDF, the second German television station, if I may, who gave the research on this one, 5.3 million actually are living in this condition for over 10 years. Now, this leads to a certain segmentation of society. This not only gives the platform for far-right AfD and other politicians to say, look, we have to stop migrants, we have far too many. It actually makes those people concerned feel less welcome, less integrated, less perhaps interested in learning the language, in really becoming a part and parcel of German society. So it is a psychological factor. finally opening the doors, a faster road towards becoming a citizen, in particular dual nationality. And you mentioned other European countries. You mentioned the United Kingdom with the Rwanda debate. You mentioned upcoming elections at some stage in France. I just read on another piece of news, 64 countries will have general elections only in 2024, which is a new in history. And far-right political parties are gearing up everywhere to somehow swim into this tide of we don't want any new arrivals, we can't afford our own living anymore, and it's post-corona and what have you and what not. I think the German government would set the right signal. They had a fierce debate in the German parliament, the Bundestag, heavily criticized by the opposition, heavily criticized by the far-right AfD, and actually they came out on top. So they can actually show a certain banner, a flag, as we say in German. Man kann die Flagge zeigen, man kann democracy, you can defend it when it is really at stake. I'm sure other people would criticize the German government for many, many other issues, the farmers' protests going on, the situation in Palestine going on, of course. But now let's today, benefit of the doubt, I think it is the right decision. It will send a signal to other European countries, in particular to France, in particular to Hungary, and indeed to the United Kingdom.
Klaus Jürgens, many thanks for joining us from Ankara.